Hello everyone, this is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today I wanted to do a quick little hand movements and maybe some fabric sounds. I'm not sure how much of this is going to get picked up from my phone's microphone, so we'll see. But I put on these very fun pink nails today, and this is my first time wearing these ones, and I thought that they were so cute. I would like to file the edges, I think, a tiny bit, just because I tend to prefer slightly more rounded nails, but I thought before I did that, I could make a video with my nice soft pink blanket because it kind of matches these nails. My camera never quite picks up this blanket color correctly. It's actually a bit more pink than it shows up here. And honestly, it matches my nail color like almost exactly, so I don't know why my nails are showing up differently, but who knows. I love hand movement videos. I love very soft touches and fabric sounds. And today, this is quite funny, I'm actually recording in my closet. So, the room that I usually record in is kind of at the back of our apartment, and we have some neighbors kind of on the other side of our back fence, and they are having a bit of a get together, so I think they have been drinking a little bit because they are a little rowdy, and so I wasn't quite able to set up and film in my usual room, and so I was going to go just to our other room, and our neighbors, our next door neighbors, we live in a townhouse setting, and we share a wall with some neighbors that have a newborn and a toddler, and I think that both of them were having a little bit of a bad day, so I could hear them very clearly through the wall, and I was like, you know what, I really want to film. I have these adorable nails on, I have a little bit of time to film, so I have this chair. This is the funniest, jankiest setup. I'm sitting on the floor in my closet, and then I have my office chair that rotates set up here with my blanket on it, and it's so ridiculous, but it's working. I figured, you know what, my videos are already lo-fi. You all are, I think, used to it. I don't think this makes it that much more lo-fi. I think it'll be fine. I just love messing around with this blanket. It is just so soft, and it's very satisfying to run my hand one direction, have all of the fibers going this way, and then run my hand the other direction, and just kind of smooth it out. I feel like my closet lighting is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of better than I think my usual lighting I usually go for like softer lighting in my videos, unless I'm filming during the day where I can have the window open with some natural light. But like I was saying, our backyard neighbors are having a fun party, so it didn't quite work out. But this lighting, you can kind of see all of my climbing scars, and I have a couple of spots on my hand that are freshly healing. Fresh, I mean, they're about a week. But like this spot here is healing. This spot here is healing. Kind of makes it look like I got in a fight or something. I'll say. I'll have to come up with a cool story, but in reality, I just was clumsy while I was rock climbing and scraped my hand on the wall. Nothing too cool about that. I really like these nails. I think that the pink tone kind of fits my skin tone really nicely. I didn't think I would actually like these ones very much, but I'm glad I tried them on. I like that there are some nails with little jewels and gems. But I do wish this pack had more of them because there was not a whole lot in the pack, and I think that I only had enough to be able to do my thumbs and my middle fingers. I don't think the other ones with the rhinestones fit any of my other fingers, which is okay. I'm glad I was able to at least do some sparkly ones. And I do actually have some other like nail art gems that I could add onto some of the plain ones if I wanted. So we'll see about that. Grateful that our closet isn't really too hot. We don't have a like a central air vent in our closet, which makes sense. And it is very, very hot outside. So I was a little bit worried when I was setting up in here once I closed the door whether it was going to get too warm. I think so far it's alright. I'm very grateful at least for the size of closet that we have. It's nothing too big, but this is certainly the largest closet that my husband and I have ever had in any of our apartments, and it's maybe, I want to say like maybe 4 by 6 feet, something like that. I have no idea. I'm terrible at estimating like room sizes. The way that I do it is I think about if I were to lay down, how far could I stretch and how much more space would there be? Which is, I think, probably not a good way to measure room sizes. But it's a decent size. But really only enough room for me to like have my chair and to be sitting down on the floor and not have a crazy amount of space left over at all. But we've definitely lived in places that, one, have not had any closets in the bedroom, which in the United States, at least where we're from, is pretty rare. It's quite common to have like a built-in closet spaces here. Whereas I think, like in other countries, it's not as common. I think it's more common for people to get like wardrobes and things like that. But in the US, most of our houses and apartments that we have lived in have had at least like little cutout closets that have like folding accordion doors or something like that. But this one has, it's like kind of like a fold. It's like a, I guess you would consider like a walk-in closet because you can walk in. The fact that I'm in here sitting down, I think makes it a walk-in closet. But you know, like it has an actual door that can close behind me, and it's very spacious. And I, of course, have more clothing than my husband does. And so he very graciously kind of let me take over organizing the closet when we moved in. And I love organizing anyways, but so we kind of have a really good system going. And his clothes are like the clothes closest to the door. Because I thought if he's having to have less space, it might be nicer for him to like not have to dig through to the back of the closet or something for his clothes. And so we actually have lined the closet with little drawers. So my side has like those cheap, like plastic, like clear face drawers that you can get from anywhere. I think we got these from like Walmart or something, like years ago when I was in college. So my side is lined with those. And then his side, he has a very kind of like thinner dresser with a bunch of like fabric drawers, and the bottom two shelves are like shoe shelves. So all of his shoes fit there. And then he didn't really need much more space than that, so on the rest of that wall, I have my massive shoe rack, which is quite funny. I love shoes. I think I've always loved shoes most of my life, but I am not somebody that spends a lot of money on them. So most of my shoes I have had for like most of my adult life, and I have either gotten on like deep discounts or I bought them on Facebook Marketplace or while thrifting. But I definitely have way more shoes than I actually need. I'm sitting here kind of looking over at my shelf thinking, like, do I really need, you know, that pair or that pair? And I think I could probably get rid of them. We also have a bunch of new like velvet hangers that we would like to replace. Like we want to replace our plastic hangers with the velvet ones. So I had gotten a huge pack of the velvet hangers actually before we moved last year, and I had gotten a huge pack of thrift shopping, so it was like a massive box of I don't even know how many velvet hangers for like $8 or something like that. It was like below $10, and I had been I'd been kind of keeping my eye out while I was shopping just to see if it was like feasible for me to try and change over all of our hangers at some point, because the velvet ones do save quite a bit of space compared to the thicker plastic ones that we have. And so I found this pack while I was thrift shopping. I was like, that's great. So I picked them up. And then we had enough to do like all of my clothes, but not all of my husband's clothes. So I counted how many we had left to replace and just went to Walmart and picked up some more velvet hangers. And I would like to replace those at some point, and I thought about trying to make it a video, but I can't quite figure out the setup that I want to do for it. And I thought it would be nice to try and do somehow like use an external mic to pick up the sounds of the clothes and the hangers, like putting the clothes on the hangers and all of that lovely fabric sounds, all of those lovely fabric sounds. And I was thinking, in order to get the angle and shot that I wanted, I think my phone would be too far to be able to catch any of those sounds. And I recently picked up a very, very cheap external microphone, and I need to kind of play around with it. I want to do like a test video, and I think overall I'm probably going to just keep using my phone's microphone because it's so much easier for me to just set up my phone and not worry about it at all, and like not have an external mic to mess with, and make sure the settings are all good and monitor the sound. Like, I don't necessarily want to do that. So I think that I picked up this microphone just to see if I could use it for videos like that, like set it up a little bit closer to the actual sounds, but then my camera could be set a little bit further back. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but I need to mess around with the microphone first and kind of figure out the settings, see exactly how I can use it the way that I want to use it. Overall, I tend to prefer kind of more lo-fi ASMR videos myself anyways. So like I said, I probably wouldn't end up like adopting the microphone for all of my videos because it just seems like so much more of a hassle than what I'm used to. I really enjoy the simplicity of being able to set up anywhere, like here in my closet, and just record a video. I really like the lines in this blanket because it makes it just a little bit more interesting than like a normal, fluffy, soft blanket. It's interesting to have these kind of stitched lines. It almost makes these like little puffs of fabric. I think that it's very cute. I love throw blankets. I have so many throw blankets, and we probably get a new one like every year from someone for Christmas or my birthday or something, and I'm always very happy about it because I think that I love to be cozy, and whenever we have guests visiting, I like to have at least a couple of throw blankets in the guest bedroom, as well as spread around in our living room, so that if they do get a little bit chilly, they can just go ahead and grab a blanket. But I myself also just love being able to grab a blanket if I need it. are kind of falling asleep from sitting on them, so I think that I am going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope that you enjoyed the calm hand movements, slow, deliberate kind of brushing along the blanket.